It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. Men always want to be a woman's first love. Women like to be a man's last romance. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. If you want to change people, why not begin on yourself? That is a lot more profitable and a lot less dangerous. Some quit due to slow progress, never grasping the fact that slow progress is progress. We stopped looking for monsters under our bed when we realized that they were inside us. Nothing in progression can rest on its original plan. We might as well think of rocking a grown man in the cradle of an infant. The real spiritual progress of the aspirant is measured by the extent to which he achieves inner tranquility. Success is a state of mind. If you want success, start thinking of yourself as a success. Without deviation from the norm, progress is not possible. There are no constraints on the human mind, no walls around the human spirit, no barriers to our progress except those we ourselves erect. Success means having the courage, the determination, and the will to become the person you believe you were meant to be. Stupid is the man who always remains the same. Run your own race. Who cares what others are doing? The only question that matters is, am I progressing? When we give someone our time, we actually give a portion of our life that we will never take back. The most exquisite pleasure is giving pleasure to others. It doesn't matter which side of the fence you get off on sometimes. What matters most is getting off. You cannot make progress without making decisions. Each man must learn his own ideal and try to accomplish it. That is a surer way of progress than to take the ideas of another. Each man must learn his own ideal and try to accomplish it. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. No matter how many mistakes you make or how slow you progress, you are still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying. Change equals self-improvement. Push yourself to places you haven't been before. Ever since I was a child, I have had this instinctive urge for expansion and growth. To me, the function and duty of a quality human being is the sincere and honest development of one's potential. Baby steps count as long as you are going forward. You add them all up, and one day you look back and you'll be surprised at where you might get to. True progress quietly and persistently moves along without notice. Progress is a nice word, but change is its motivator, and change has its enemies. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. No woman or man really knows what perfect love is until they have been married a quarter of a century. Even if you're not where you want to be yet, you should appreciate this version of yourself. You're a work in progress. The secret of genius is to carry the spirit of the child into old age, which means never losing your enthusiasm. The secret of all victory lies in the organization of the non-obvious. The secret to success is to do the common things uncommonly well. True love begins when nothing is looked for in return. Do not envy other people's good qualities, but instill them in yourself through admiration. Finds progress, man's distinctive mark alone, not God's, and not the beast's. God is, they are, man partly is, and wholly hopes to be. Progress always involves risks. You can't steal second base and keep your foot on first. Every day you may make progress. Every step may be fruitful. Yet there will stretch out before you an ever-lengthening, ever-ascending, ever-improving path. I believe that no matter what situation in life you find yourself, there is room for you to take control of little things, which ultimately adds up to big things. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. I think it is often easier to make progress on mega-ambitious dreams. Since no one else is crazy enough to do it, you have little competition. In fact, there are so few people this crazy that I feel like I know them all by first name. Do not say a little in many words, but a great deal in a few. Progress is not in enhancing what is, but in advancing toward what will be. Slow progress is still progress. Nonviolence is a weapon of the strong. Smart people learn from everything, and everyone's average people from their experiences. Stupid people already have all the answers. Too much action with too little intent makes for wasteful exertion of energy and the confusion between movement and progress. Progress is measured by richness and intensity of experience, by a wider and deeper apprehension of the significance and scope of human existence. When we make progress quickly, it feeds our emotions. Then, when there's a period of waiting or we hit a plateau, we find out how committed we really are and whether we're going to see things through to the finish or quit. What we learn from history is that no one learns from history. People who want a cure, provided they can have it without pain, are like those who favor progress, provided they can have it without change. A little progress every day adds up to big results. One can choose to go back toward safety or forward toward growth. Growth must be chosen again and again. Fear must be overcome again and again. Determine a single measure that you can use to grade your progress and success in each area of your life. Refer to it daily. We are the nation of human progress, and who will, what can, set limits to our onward march. Providence is with us, and no earthly power can. There is no progress or accomplishment without sacrifice. To lead people, follow them. We cannot seek achievement for ourselves and forget about progress and prosperity for our community. Our ambitions must be broad enough to include the aspirations and needs of others, for their sakes and for our own. Never was anything great achieved without danger. If you want a thing done well, do it yourself. You can hide memories, but you can't erase the history that produced them. The purpose of fear is to raise your awareness, not to stop your progress. Thinking always ahead, thinking always of trying to do more, brings a state of mind in which nothing seems impossible. Progress and growth are impossible if you always do things the way you've always done things. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. It is better to make an approximately correct decision than to make a precise mistake. If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely. Don't look too far into the future. Just look at tomorrow, one day at a time. Can you win tomorrow? Can you make progress? The answer is yes. You have a choice, and tomorrow you're going to win. Healthy discontent is the prelude to progress. Actively recognizing progress towards your goal will ultimately end up inspiring you and have you pushing even harder. Change is inevitable. Change will always happen. But you have to apply direction to change, and that's when it's progress. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. Nature hath given men one tongue, but 2 ears, that we may hear from others twice as much as we speak. It is not by muscle, speed, or physical dexterity that great things are achieved, but by reflection, force of character, and judgment. Progress is the attraction that moves humanity. Fiction is the lie through which we tell the truth. Believe nothing you hear, and only half that you see. This seems to be the law of progress in everything we do. It moves along a spiral rather than a perpendicular. We seem to be actually going out of the way, and yet it turns out that we were really moving upward all the time. Comfort is the enemy of progress. The first man gets the oyster, the second man gets the shell. Progress isn't made by early risers. It's made by lazy men trying to find easier ways to do something. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. I see that the path of progress has never taken a straight line, but has always been a zigzag course amid the conflicting forces of right and wrong, truth and error, justice and injustice, cruelty and mercy. Create a healthy balance. It's no different than indulging in some cake here and there. Moderation, moderation, moderation. Progress does not come from hard work, but from persistent hard work. People willingly believe what they want to believe. You don't make progress by standing on the sidelines, whimpering and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas. First steps are always the hardest, but until they are taken, the notion of progress remains only a notion and not an achievement. The key to happiness is really progress and growth and constantly working on yourself and developing something. Don't forget to check out these amazing quotes about progress and growth below. The meaning of life is to give life meaning. Seek wisdom, not knowledge. Knowledge is of the past. Wisdom is of the future. The key is not to settle for less than we desire. Once you settle, you stop progressing. No matter how thin you slice it, there will always be two sides. The most important thing is to make decisions. Whether the decision is right or wrong is secondary. You will soon receive feedback that will help you to progress. The world belongs to the patient. The only thing a person can ever really do is keep moving forward. Take that big leap forward without hesitation, without once looking back. Simply forget the past and forge toward the future. Optimism is essential to achievement, and it is also the foundation of courage and true progress. Good health is a duty to yourself, to your contemporaries, to your inheritors, to the progress of the world. Who dares nothing needs hope for nothing. One can choose to go back toward safety or forward toward growth. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Winners are not afraid of losing, but losers are. Failure is part of the process of success. People who avoid failure also avoid success. Courage means to keep making forward progress while you still feel afraid. I consider myself a student of many religions. The more I learn, the more questions I have. For me, the spiritual quest will be a lifelong work in progress. The important thing is that we must constantly be moving forward. Yes, the progress realization of a predetermined goal, and our growth should never end. If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Do not confuse motion and progress. A rocking horse keeps moving but does not make any progress. The only person with whom you have to compare ourselves is that you in the past, and the only person better you should be. This is who you are now. A work in progress generates its own energy field. You, the artist or entrepreneur, are pouring love into the work. You are suffusing it with passion and intention and hope. Human progress is neither automatic nor inevitable. Every step toward the goal of justice requires sacrifice, suffering, and struggle, the tireless exertions and passionate concern of dedicated individuals. Gardens are not made by singing, "Oh, how beautiful," and sitting in the shade. Each morning, my characters greet me with misty faces, willing, though chilled, to muster for another day's progress through the dazzling quicksand, the marsh of blank paper. Rules for happiness, something to do, someone to love, something to hope for. Unless you try to do something beyond what you have already mastered, you will never grow. Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. He who walks straight rarely falls. Death does not concern us, because as long as we exist, death is not here, and when it does come, we no longer exist. I was taught that the way of progress was neither swift nor easy. A true woman loves a strong man because she knows his weaknesses. She protects as much as she is protected. The truth is, unless you let go, unless you forgive yourself, unless you forgive the situation, unless you realize that the situation is over, you cannot move forward. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Nature knows no pause in progress and development and attaches her curse on all inaction. Remember that progress is not linear either. Sometimes you make great progress for a while, and then you slide back a little. That's okay. Don't give up. Creation takes things forward. Without anything new, there is no progress. Creation equals new. Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do. We are not at the end of our progress, but at the beginning. We have but reached the shores of a great, unexplored continent. We cannot turn back. It is man's destiny to ponder on the riddle of existence and, as a byproduct of his wonderment, to create a new life on this earth. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Changes call for innovation, and innovation leads to progress. As time progresses, increase the amount of time spent on self-improvement and less time on mental junk food. The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. You can overcome bad habits only today, not tomorrow. Little progress can be made by merely attempting to repress what is evil. Our great hope lies in developing what is good. Don't wait for the right opportunity. Create it. Everyone wants to live on top of the mountain, but all the happiness and growth occurs while you're climbing it. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. What one man calls God, another calls the laws of physics. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. The wise are like a river. They go forward and upward, never backward or downward. When any real progress is made, we unlearn and learn anew what we thought we knew before. Men make history and not the other way around. In periods where there is no leadership, society stands still. Progress occurs when courageous, skillful leaders seize the opportunity to change things for the better. Changes and progress very rarely are gifts from above. They come out of struggles from below. If you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, eventually you'll make progress. When we are sure that we are on the right road, there is no need to plan our journey too far ahead. No need to burden ourselves with doubts and fears as to the obstacles that may bar our progress. We cannot take more than one step at a time. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. Change does not necessarily assure progress, but progress implacably requires change. Failure is success in progress. It's the same each time with progress. First, they ignore you. Then they say you're mad. Then dangerous. Then there's a pause. And then you can't find anyone who disagrees with you. Laws are like cobwebs, which may catch small flies, but let wasps and hornets break through. Begin, be bold, and venture to be wise. Your enemies can kill you, but only your friends can hurt you. What we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday, and our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow. Our life is the creation of our mind. A person with a clear purpose will make progress on even the roughest road. A person with no purpose will make no progress on even the smoothest road. Order men's penis is more than just a physical attribute. It is an integral part of their identity, self-expression, and pleasure. You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. I would rather be a swineherd, understood by the swine, than a poet misunderstood by men. Measuring progress is often like watching grass grow. While it's difficult to detect movement on a daily basis, it's simple to see growth over time. It is nothing to die. It is frightful not to live. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. Never close your lips to those who you have already opened your heart to. Whatever there be of progress in life comes not through adaptation, but through daring. Never compete with someone who has nothing to lose. Only mediocrities progress, and An artist revolves in a cycle of masterpieces, the first of which is no less perfect than the last. Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his life? Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow.